So, hey guys, Chauzu here, and I wish all of you a happy new year. Like I did last time on New Year's Eve, I'm going to post my favorite units of the year. This time I picked out 30 units, 5 units in 6 different categories. It's going to be PvP, my favorite. This is only going to be my favorite. So my favorite PvP units of the year. There's going to be rare recruits of the year, speedrun units of the year, support of the year, free-to-play of the year, and my favorite legends of the year. So those are the 6 categories. Let's get into it. And we're going to start with PvP. We got 3 legends and 2 PvP rare recruits. And Odin turned out to be useful in all kinds of content, like even in super bosses he had on niche. And then when revealed, he didn't look that much for PvE, but he defied expectations, so to say. But in PvE, he's been a staple on the main side teams, and he's just incredible. His only negative is that his special is not the most reliable, but he gives big buffs to his side and free spirit teammates and does a lot of damage, and he can bind, which is one of the reasons why Sai is so insufferable to face in PvP. Moving on, let's get the legends out of the way, I think. Captain Wanda could have obviously been on Speedrun Legend of the Year, but I felt like that was a bit too obvious, so I put them here instead. They are mainstays on 2 different teams, Slashers and Cerebral. Cerebral is not the best right now, but Slashers is obviously really good, and I can't imagine building a team without them. They provide some nice stability for the team, and they are able to both do defense and offensive boost and even heal a bit. So, used on most slasher teams I make. I've tried to pick one for each common color as well here. So this one won't come as a surprise, Uta. And yeah, I don't really like the new sprite or art, but it is what it is. And yeah, int driven was already really good, but now it's a big contender for best color class combination at all in PvP. And Uta just adds offensive and defensive stability and does a ton of damage with the special that is also very reliable. The maybe most odd unit here, Fuji, but he was exactly what Quick Driven needed. A unit to give some very nice stability in the ability, and also doing some reliable damage with the special, not that much. But the main thing is that Quick Driven now more reliable beats strength, and it's a lot big thanks to Fuji. And after Fuji release we also got Tesoro level limit break and such, so Quick Driven really good right now. Finally, we have the best PvP rare recruit ever released, Pal. Like, I don't think I have to say so much here, like, just look at this, like, all these buffs, that like, this is one of the best PvP abilities on any unit, and this is a rare recruit. And the special is not much worse, doing big attack ups and even def ups, and hitting very hard 4 times. And sometimes that just kills 4 enemies. It's always nice to see that happen. But yeah, moving on to the next category. We're going to talk about rare recruits. The first one is very recent. It's the Usopp from the Big Mom and Otama batch. And yeah, just one of those godlike specials that both remove special bind and also reduce CD. But you also reduce paralysis, and you can also delay. And top row got even more CD reduction. And eventually when this Usopp gets LB+, he'll probably get Fear as well. And he's the first shooter who does this as well, and I'm very biased towards shooters, so this Usopp really made me pumped up. Often it's Nami units who get this combination, so nice to see some variation. Rice is a bit older now, he came with the V2 Odin batch, but his special is just amazing. Bind reduction, 2 turns of buffs to shooter and free spirit, block core manip, end of turn damage. He also has a great support on top of that. Yeah, I use this rare recruit all the time, and I really enjoy using him too. from the Wii 2 Sengoku batch. I just picked one of them. I could have picked most of them. Not Kusan, he's pretty bad. But the others are all great. I picked Akihino since he has a very cool bonus he gets. But yeah, all of these want you to run a full color crew, which is becoming more and more legit and very fun to do. But if you do that with Akihino, you get a guaranteed burn through full immunity. And even if you don't have everyone, you still get a burn, but not through full immunity. So you can have a self-proccing burn conditional, potentially through full immunity, and you also remove bind and death up. So yeah, just very cool. And you also have that you move up to captain. And if you can use the super type, you can get an extra damage boost as well as applying super type to the team, and then move back down. Just very versatile. And these will age very well in my opinion. Another normal rear recruit. We have Beppo, who has double special, which is one of the reasons why it's very cool. But you have full board orb manip through block to tandem. I don't think you have to say why that's good long term, having such reliable block orb manip. Like, I'm really praying that when Beppo gets a limit break expansion, give him reduced CD. Let me use him from the get-go. That will be godlike for so many units. But yeah, he also does a chain boost. He can do some special bind removal and such. What I'm a bit sad about with Beppo especially is that he only resists special bind by 5 turns, but he can remove 6, like just let him resist 6 turns. That's so dumb, but otherwise great unit. Finally, we have a recent treasure map rear recruit. This law, but I think he has quite an amazing special. I realized that when I made a team against Morgan with him, but yeah. Good utility, remove the spear paralysis. You have some orb manip as well. 2 times call affinity to 2 of the best classes. And if you have enough Dex 10 and 1 slots, you also get a good chain boost. And that's a pretty unusual combination, being able to get both chain boost and call affinity as well as all of the other stuff. Really good unit. So with that, we are moving on to Speedrunners of the Year, and this is going to focus both on arena and on treasure maps. I kind of combined it. It's so important to note because 2 of these units are not the best speedrunners for arena, but are very valuable in treasure map. So let's start with the king of speedruns though, like Wii 2 Dog. Imagine this being Cat as well, because they are a package deal. I think I talked enough about them, so I don't need to reiterate it here, but this legend might even be the legend of the year, like for me personally. Such an influential unit, great in every single mode, can even be used in Super Boss Kizuna potentially, if you want some barrier pen and still gaining access to super class, or realistically more likely to use Cat for that to get the super type. But yeah, great in arena, great in treasure map, great in Kizuna, potentially good in Super Boss, amazing in PvP too. Like, I don't think what else to say, it's like the legend of the year right here. So I'm not going to talk about what this does, I think you guys know that by now. Amazing unit. Let's save the treasure map stuff for last. We have Marco, who has the combination of both being very good at no-stall speedrunning and also giving you extra experience when doing that. And the key to all of that is the amazing superclass special that gives you the end of turn healing, and once you get that, you launch the special for free 1 extra time, and the special does reduce CD by 1 turn, so you can get a very good spiral going. And mostly Stump makes teams with him. I not wanted to interfere in that, he does a very good job with it. But it's pretty clear that if you care about experience, you never can go wrong with Marco. Kid probably also doesn't need much explanation, like, come on. He's -3 CD to Driven a Striker, and he's just really good in general. Like, he can make most units be able to no-stall things, and on top of that, he is a Driven, so he can use like Mr. Tree to reduce his CD even further. So yeah, very good investment, and I should probably just limit break expand him at this point. For treasure map in particular, we can start with Uta. This also applies to the 6++ Uta, of course, maybe even more so, since 6++ Uta helps the team as well with an extra -1 CD. The 6-star Uta is more selfish though, but she reduces her own CD by 4 and also reduces paralysis and special reverse. So basically, you can use Uta if paralysis and or special reverse is the main debuff in TM, and you're very likely to be able to charge Uta with her captain ability. So you get some free buff removal, and you get that big attack offensive buffs from her special. And Nami, very cool, mostly because being able to remove all of the paralysis, and in doing so, she just charges her special fully. She might get like an insane special. So like a fully charged Nami, like her special and Superclass special might be all the damage you need to do is insane damage, and then you just need... It just depends on the utility, like you wouldn't use her without paralysis, but if there is paralysis and not that many other debuffs, Nami will be incredibly good, I think. So yeah, moving on to my own personal favorite category, I guess. Support. We have one Church Member Recruit support, we can start with that. Chopper, and I'm so happy we got another support like this. We only had the Quick Pudding before. But Chopper can put on Nami, Robin, Frankie. Not the most units, but I take anything, like. Just give me units that can give you self HP cuts. And that's really good, especially against stun, so like Garb Challenge Enel, for example. I actually just made a team with this support for Enel, with V2 versus Kaido. And another thing is that it's a 70% HP cut, so on top of that you can use a unit that wants to be low HP, and by using the support you don't have to care about HP management. You know that at final stage I'm low enough HP. So super cool support. Very random too, like suddenly on a treasure map. I think there's no surprise that the support recruits are great. Like Mihawk, I say is the support of the year almost. He does so much in one single support, and both int, free spirit and slasher, so easy to fit on a team. You get end of turn damage for 1 turn, you set defense to 0 for 1 turn, and reduce CDs like all in one. You can use him for any of those or a combination, like I end up using him most of the time. Sabu is basically as good, it's just that he's more restrictive. Can only be put on 2 units, 2 very good units, but still restrictive. And you get that the Spear, Special Bind removal, Death Up removal, easier perfects, like... It's just a saver a lot of the times. And being final stage is actually nice, since you can ignore like all of the other specials, like if there's... The Spear earlier doesn't proc there, it doesn't proc when you use the special, you know that I got this for final stage. So Legends 2, Big Mom is really new, but her support is absolutely busted. I love it so much. It's basically a self-proccing conditional, and it's a burn conditional. Like, I don't believe they did a support like this. Sure, it doesn't go through full immunity, but any partial immunity it will go through basically. And it can be put on so many units. Like, they need to do damage, but there's units of all of these that do damage, except like Otama. Like, for example, the rare recruit Perospero. 8 CD, great for speedrunning. Suddenly he can do a burn conditional too. Like, it's insane, I'd say. Finally, I can show it here, but the final unit is supposed to be Koran Law. It's the only unit here I don't have, but I feel like I couldn't overlook them. And basically, at level 4, it's a fun case where the level 5 support is awful, and level 4 is godlike. But level 4 support can be put on in Cerebral, I think. And if there is Orb Mandate happening, you get a full board of matching orbs. So basically, almost like the Germa you can put on Sanji, but then it's tandem orbs. But so many units can use it, and you just get a free full board of matching orbs. It's bonkers. Moving on, my favorite free-to-play units of the year. And I think the first one is my favorite. I've got so much use out of Luffy and Whitebeard. It's just the fact that it's both Luffy and Whitebeard, and they have so many useful supports. It's also the fact that you get that attack and or boost, and you can potentially get it for 3 turns at a very high number. So doing stuff like free-to-play teams like this, Luffy and Viper is like almost essential a lot of the time. And they might not remove a lot of buffs, but it's useful because you can combine it pretty easily. Like Luffy and Viper both have supports that remove all of these debuffs, and others can just put supports that remove those debuffs as well. Or you combine it with another special. This removes 3 turns, that removes 4 turns, and you remove 7 turns total. But yeah, also does damage, which allows even more support. Moving on, we have the Uta. Obviously really great with the double special. Even a good captain, finally. But yeah, you got some Bind Despair attack down removal, chain boost setting defense to 0, and if you use it twice you can get self-proccing death down conditional, and when using it the second time you can end up removing like 6 turns Bind Despair in total. 4 turns of attack down, you got a chain boost, big one, death down conditional, and it's 2 times death down conditional, like, yeah, very versatile, very good. Sabo, I said favorite, I don't think he's like one of the best, but he was very hyped to get a free super tandem unit to use. And he's pretty good, like, you got partial block orb manip, you got the paralysis burn removal, and you got the chain lock. Like, this is one of those chain boundaries which is more like a chain lock, but still being able to get up to a 5 times chain from a special is really good. Better than normal chain locks most of the time. And Super Tandem is hard to use, but there's an option, and it's just fun to try and team build for it. Moving on, we got a Kislev unit, not many of those here, but yeah, I've enjoyed using Chopper a lot. Just very nice being able to get that big heal. He removes a lot of good stuff by 5 turns and also gives color affinity. So I've ended up using him quite a bit actually. He's a Chopper, so you got a lot of good support. Finally, a treasure map unit here, Prospero, ready from turn 1. He's amazing in Garp challenges when you just get that chain lock for 3 turns and a turn damage, then you just get it back already. And even in normal content, like being able to get this special when you want, is just very useful, and it's very diverse kit, both chain lock and end of turn damage. Orb lock shall not be forgotten either. And a great support as well, of course. Locking striker units orbs and can be put on any striker. So, time for final category, which I'm grateful for because I'm starting to feel tired of talking. But anyway, these are my favorite legends of the year. Let's start with the more obscure ones, I guess. We can take Kiku and Iso. Could have easily been in the speedrun category as well, just for how busted they are in Treasure Map. Arguably the best unit overall in Treasure Map. Should always be put on at least one team in any Treasure Map. But yeah, what I like with Kiku and Iso is that they are both slasher and shooter, and you can build mono slasher with them, you can build mono shooter, and you get different benefits, like different rows of orbs become 1 and such. You also have that 10 turn of para resistance, you got a 3 turn of chain lock, you can extend orbs. Like, just as a versatile unit, fun to build like 2 Kiku Iso or pair up with other slashers or shooters. So I ended up using her quite a lot. Hiyori is one of those units that don't really get much use as captain, but mainly I added because of how broken it is to get a full board of 1 orbs from the start of the quest. Pairs super well with the Hina we'll talk about later. Special is really good too, like you can get the 1 orbs back, and you have great utility, and you also lock the orbs and healing. And even at low CD, you get partial 1 orbs to block orbs, and also have some decent utility, like, yeah, crazy unit, everybody should own this unit. Let's talk about Hina when we come to that. I just recently pulled her, but I say that together with Hiyori, Hina is arguably one of the strongest legends in the game. Like, being able to permanently keep 1 orbs is amazing. Like, sure, enemy can remove it when they remove debuffs and such, but you could just run like a radio frame captain and resist that. A bit scuffed, but all to keep those 1 orbs. And he also very cool, like how she can do the Katakuri thing. V1 Katakuri, like doing enough damage to delay, and then use her super type to get the delay conditional. Really useful. She even has Zephyr support, so she can do, or she can be put on Zephyr, I should say, which is very nice. She has a great support. Zephyr and others. And yeah, special is not bad either. I just wished it was for more turns, but it is what it is. I had some fun making teams with her that are in the backlog, and I will definitely make more. Film Red Luffy, not the strongest, but certainly one of the most fun. It's just very unique to build for, because every time you use a Mugi or a Shanks, you just keep getting the special back. So you just spam the special over and over, and it's such a unique team building experience. It feels like you have so many options you don't usually have. I will say that in general content, it's really not worth using. I definitely say that this is a meme legend, but there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. Those are some of my favorite ones. But yeah, I say the number 1 is like number 1 in everything. If I had to pick a strongest legend of the year, I'd probably also pick Ben Beckman and Lakaru. Fairy legend, Ben Beckman and Lakaru, like this guy. I can talk forever about them, but they could even be in the speedrun category, -2 CD. Just no reason for them to have it, but they do, and I love them for that. Quick shooters. I want to note that their superclass requires 5 shooters, which I'm happy with, because sure, we build shooter teams, but we're open for at least one other. And of course, the strong thing with them is that every time something with Berry Pen, it's a perfect. You remove 1 turn of any damage reduction effect, and if you run double Beckman and Lakaru, it gets double, so every perfect removes 2 turns. So they're just amazing both in hybrid and as double. Both work perfectly well. A lot of legends releasing that work well with them, like Level in Break Zephyr and 6++ Uta. And once you max their Super Tandem, which I hope to do eventually, when this video goes live, I've done some part 3 pulls, so I don't know how it went, but I hope I got some dupes. Currently on level 2, but at level 5, you just need like Shanks, Yasop, Rockstar, or Usopp, and it's very easy to fit on Usopp with a shooter team, of course. And you remove another turn of damage reduction, and you get an attack boost to quicken shooter, yeah. Just very easy extra damage, just an amazing unit, and will maybe be my most used legend in 2023. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you agree with me or do you disagree? So yeah, thanks for watching guys. Have a happy new year and see you next time.